Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I say, okay, ladies, now let's get information. You know you that bitch when you cause all this conversation. Always stay gracious, best revenge is your paper.
We're back. It's your girl, the thick writer chick, Miss Courtney Lyric, and I am joined today by my god brother Guga. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everyone. I am her god brother, Guga. It's family name. Again, please don't call me that in public. But my name is Kevin. I go by Triple X K Boogie Triple X. You can follow me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/ Triple X K Boogie Triple X. I'm a gamer. I play video games.
Okay. Well, yeah, y'all check him out for real though. It'd be interesting topics. And actually, the topic we are talking about today is a conversation that started on his live stream. So the discussion was about a viral TikTok of a woman on a podcast called, I think it's Poor Minds or Poor Decisions, something like that. Poured up, some of that nature. And pretty much the discussion that she was presenting was that men, I don't know if she said men or people or what, but if you're not making at least
I thought you said
50K a year, that you should not be dating. And when I came into when I came into the live stream, the men's were up in arms. They was mad.
we weren't mad. So,
You wasn't happy.
here's this is where this stemmed from. Um, So on Thursdays, I'm just gonna lay it all out. On Thursdays, I have what I call duty and conversations. That's where me and my bros we sit, we play Call of Duty and have conversations. We talk about everything. So lately, if you look in this social media platform, if you just look on, there's some female saying that she wants a man that has to make X amount of money. Okay, our conversation was about okay, if that's the case, what are you bringing to the table? Can we cuss on your platform, Joe?
Yes, this is a cussing
Oh,
platform. But what we don't do is call women females here.
no.
Sorry. Wrong platform.
I'm sorry. If that is your standard, what are you bringing to the table outside of pussy? Because a lot of, I can't say females, a lot of women.
Oh, that's hard for you, isn't it?
No. And I just say females because you have a lot of women that don't act like women. They still have a child's mind frame. So that's why I say female. But you have a lot of women that have this standard that they're not matching that energy. You have a lot of women that want to be taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
but can't cook, don't clean, they don't do nothing. So why do you feel like you can set this standard, but you
Okay.
have nothing to bring to the table? It's okay. Okay, well, the man's supposed to lead. Yes, the man's supposed to lead, but when he comes home, he's tired. He done been out there working all day. So what are you bringing to the table? And again, I say if that is your standard, by all means, everybody has standard. Everybody
Right.
likes what they like. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have this standard. What I'm saying is, what are you bringing to the table outside of? Because you will be amazed how many women think that they vagina is gold, is
Mm.
worth billions.
Not billions, child.
Like for real, like a lot of women, they don't have nothing to offer but good looks and pussy.
Okay.
So
That's
our
fair. Yeah.
conversation where you came in, it was after we had that after that question was asked, okay, what are you bringing to the table? And that's why I was like, I wanted a female to jump in those comments so I could see where they come from. And just so happened you jumped in the conversation. So it wasn't like we were attacking you per se. It was just us saying like, okay, yes, you have standards. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you bringing to the table? And you addressed the situation like you did, and we
Yeah.
commend you for that. And we're not downing women. We're not
Are we
bashing
not?
women.
Are we not?
We not. But what I'm saying is, you can't come to me and say I'm I'm not gonna be with you because you making
Right.
X amount of money. And
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I feel
Yeah.
that. But in that same breath, you ain't got a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. So you want me to be this such high standard
Hmm.
when your standards aren't even high for yourself.
Okay, and I respect that. So I think the best way to have real conversations is to do away with fake conversations. And as we know, a lot of people, since the dawn of TikTok, since COVID, since we got
Mhm.
introduced to motherfuckers sitting in front of a camera and speaking a piece, have taken hot takes that are not really realistic and are not even used in day-to-day life and gone viral off it and put it in place as gospel.
Right.
So let's talk real
Hmm.
because we know each other in real life. So okay, you as a man can say, or let me ask you, because a narrative that's out there, like you said, is there's a lot of women who are
Hmm.
seeking love or seeking to only be with men and make X amount of dollars, and it's coming off as it's the per capita or the majority. So my question to you is, if you're comfortable asking, what is the most you've ever made in a year,
Phew, that'll
or
have to
how much
be.
do you make in a year, if you can, you know?
I make right now. I work for the state of Louisiana. If you work for the state of Louisiana, you already know what that
You
is.
already know, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say I bring right now like 44,
Okay.
43, 44. Um, but the most I've made was like on a deployment overseas, probably Afghanistan, because I was over there for a year.
Yeah.
And wasn't no taxes taken. Well, there wasn't supposed to be taxes taken out of our checks, but it was. And then they taxed that check too. Um,
Damn.
but yeah, but I know, I know I'm not everybody's standard. I know
Right,
that.
right. Are you gonna answer so about four? Okay, which is fair
But
because I make about $22 an hour, and that's roughly about what 45K a year. So I mean,
mhm.
the most people are not even bringing in 50K. So okay, so you've never made that much, but would you be willing to say that at some point in time in a romantic relationship, whether it's toxic or not, that a woman you were involved with expressed, whether you felt like it was real or not, that she did love you?
Yeah.
Okay,
You,
so we
like,
can say in real life you have found love despite not
oh,
making 50K a year.
100%. Yes.
Okay, so we can say that
Yes.
and in turn for the women, I can say I probably only dated one man that made more money than me ever. 50-50. I don't have a problem with that. And usually it's 100, it's usually 100 over here. And the man not really doing much. So we can say that some of these hot takes that are constantly being regurgitated throughout the internet aren't even real life. That's not even real life.
It,
Because
but
in
it,
real life, you have been able to find love despite not making a certain amount of money.
but
And
this is what
mhm,
happens when so many people make these videos.
right.
You get, I hate to call them naive, but something you got to call a spade a spade. You get naive people that be like, you know what? Yeah, I gotta have a man that makes 50 plus a year. I
Okay.
gotta have a man that this, and this. And again, it's okay for you to want that,
Yeah.
but what are you bringing to the table?
So
Other than you,
your concern is that not that this is happening to you in real life, but you feel like videos like this will eventually influence the masses of potential dating
I
partners.
ain't even gonna say eventually. Like it's happening.
So you
Like
feel like it is
it's happening
currently
now.
influencing your
Yes,
potential dating partner.
yeah.
Child,
Because
who's that in the background? I'm
that's
about to say
that's
ghost.
Josh.
Oh, hey Josh. But
Just hey,
okay.
but
So
it's that's why I want to have conversations like these to get an understanding. And that's why I keep saying like I'm not trying to knock anybody's
right, right,
standard,
for sure. But
but
what I'm saying is the best way to break a false narrative is to bring forth real narratives. In real life men are
yeah,
finding love that don't make over 50K a year.
facts. And I'm
That's
not looking for somebody to be my equal financially because it's more to life than just money. You know what I'm saying?
but it's a part of life.
It is a part of life. I ain't saying you finna come to me and you just finna live off my funds and not do nothing. But
Right.
you get so many people that want the glitz and the glamour. But then I'm trying to find the best words to put this in.
Okay.
Nobody works in a relationship no more. And when I say works in a relationship, soon as something goes awry, I'm gone.
Okay, and
Because
that's a separate
because
topic, but I feel you on that.
no,
Yeah.
and I'm finna tie it all in, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
because that the foundation of it is what's monetary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of times it's monetary. Okay, I work. Let's say, okay, for instance, let's say I make 60,000 a year, right?
So I
And
can't see the comments, y'all, because I thought I fixed it from private.
let me
But when you look on the phone, you can see the comments. So
hold on. I'm finna go to your Facebook.
I can see the comments from there. What's the topic, sis? Oh, I see it. Facts, not that bad. I wish I was making 44. Yeah, and this is the most I've ever made. So I mean, let's start a real narrative. I
Yeah,
have some numbers here.
uh,
Um
hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. I
oh,
just have
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
see
Go ahead.
so I can see the comments too. So let's say I make 60,000, right?
Hmm.
Me, I'm thinking you love me for me.
Okay.
I get hurt. I'm not making that much no more. So the lifestyle has to adjust. We can't live lavish like we was once living lavish.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't willing to go through that downtime no more because the lifestyle has changed.
Hmm.
And then it's like, okay, damn, did you really love me for me? Or did you just love me for what I was making? And the reason why I said on my um on duty and conversations is, and this is what we all kind of agreed upon.
Yeah.
If you have a standard, understand that that person has a standard too.
Okay.
So you can't come to the table, or you can't expect for me as a man to go out and hunt, kill it, skin it, bring it home, cook it, go in the living room, set the table, put the dishes up, put everything out. Both of us eat. You go to your room. I now got to do the dishes too, take out the trash. So what did you do besides eat?
And you're speaking metaphorically, right?
Yeah, metaphorically. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what did you do outside of eat? What did you bring to that table?
Okay.
If
And
I
I
go out
respect
and I
that.
do
Yeah.
everything, what are you doing? And I'm not saying you got to be
Hmm.
equal as far as monetary gain. I'm not saying it because a lot of times it might be you make more than me
Yeah.
or
That
vice
happens. Yeah.
versa, but I'm going to bring something to the table so it can make your life that much easier.
That's the idea. Yeah, I
And
agree.
a lot of people don't. It's just what I can gain from it.
Okay. And I like the hypothetical that you use, but technically you are speaking on something you have not experienced, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do, like I said, I think the reason that a real conversation sometimes is hard to be had is because first we got people coming on the internet with hot takes and passing
Yeah.
it off as law, and then people are coming up with hypotheticals that they have never even experienced, no shade,
Mhm.
in their mind and in their spirit, and they're getting it down in their heart and getting offended about something that you may or may not ever experience. So let's speak on some numbers because I got some numbers.
Go ahead.
Uh, when we
Yeah.
okay, so when we think big money, when you think money, what is a salary you would think?
Like I'm just living lavish salary or just like a regular salary.
Like we're not gonna get ridiculous. We know there's the 1%. So let's say outside of the 1%, what would be just like buku money for a man a little bit above average? Like I would say 100K.
Yeah, that's yeah.
100K, which technically, if you want to break it down, ain't but like 40, 47, $48 an hour. Like when you look at it like that, it's really
Come on
not a
now,
lot.
mathematician. Come on now.
Child, Google. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, here on my platform, I like to talk, despite what people like to think about women, I like logic and I like facts. And no shade, but a hypothetical, that's a feeling. That's never happened. So let's speak
So
about what
okay,
is happening.
so hold on.
Hold on. I'll let you speak. I'll
Go
let you
ahead, go ahead, go
speak.
ahead.
Okay, so numbers that I got for you. 34.4% of people in general, this is everybody, 34% is making 100K a year. You want to know how many of that is men?
Go ahead.
17%. So so is it safe to say that maybe some of the men that are getting up in arms about these standards it's something you really won't have to worry about ever because only 17% of y'all are making what we like to call
But see,
buku money.
when you say ever, that's somebody who don't have goals for themselves.
Okay, so at least
Eventually, I get
okay.
that.
Remember, that's a hypothetical. We're
Yeah.
talking
Oh, it
logic
ain't
and
no.
facts.
For
So
me,
it
that's a fact because
as
I'm a
a
big.
oh, believe me,
So look, hold on.
I'm
Let me
aiming for
go back
millionaire
before we
status. So I
move on.
respect
Hold
that.
on. So I'm not finna throw a hypothetical. I'm finna go through some of my experience. I did a year overseas.
Okay.
I'm making damn good money, like damn good money. I come home,
Hmm.
nothing's done. I just went overseas to put my life on the line.
Right.
I come home, I I'm tired.
Yeah.
I come home that those first couple months when you get from a deployment, you get time off so you can reset, and it's
Mhm.
hard for a lot of us.
Oh, completely agree. Completely agree.
So you come home and you reset, but when you come home, you can't reset because now you're coming home and you have to do everything.
Everything. I feel you.
So if I still got to go overseas, do everything I can to come home,
Hmm.
and I still got to come home and do everything, and you just sitting there, what is your purpose?
Okay, and we will get to that. I can appreciate a real life example for sure. So let's dial it back just a little bit. So because the original issue is, or the question of the night is, are men only being loved for their money, and if so, why? I want to talk about how did that thinking even get into play? Like, how did the idea that a man is only worth his wallet or what a man brings financially is the summation of who he is, or at least a big bulk of what he brings to the table. Would you
We,
like to chime in on that?
so if we just looking at, do I feel like me personally? Do I feel like I'm just love for my money? Hell no, because I ain't even making enough like that. We just gonna put that out there. But I
There's
think,
a narrative that's out. That's one of the hot
yeah,
takes is
and,
that men are not. Remember Chris Rock? Men are not loved unconditionally, only for what we can do financially. So it's a hot
and I
take that's
just feel
out
like
there.
when you have shows like, there's MTV has turned into basically reality TV.
Hmm.
You have shows like Love and Hip Hop. You have shows like, I ain't gonna even say basketball wise, but you have you have all these shows, you have all these songs, you have all this stuff that's saying I gotta have a man that has this, and this. If he ain't
Yes.
got this, I don't want him. Da 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 da. And then it's like, damn, do you love him for him, or you just love him for what he can do for you?
Okay, and that's a valid point. So
And another
yeah,
question is, are you even taking the time to find out who that man really is? Like,
completely agree. Completely agree.
are you taking the time to get to know that person?
We will dabble. I'm so glad you asked. We will dabble. So let's
You
talk
know,
about the roots because I like facts up in here. Where did this start? That a man is only what he can bring to the table financially. That his money is part of who he is as far as manhood. And long story short, it started with. I personally think that the beliefs are fueled by the Christian religion and also by patriarchy.
mhm.
Like and can we be fair in saying that actually both are systems that men put in place?
Oh, 100%.
So by default, you set a system up and then get to a certain point where you no longer want to be held by the standards of the system that you put in place.
And by you, she's not talking to me. She's just talking about
The
men.
male gender, because it's the men that are upset with the 50,000 and with women saying, "Nah, you got to make this amount of money." But where did that come from? Where did it start? It didn't
So,
start with women, is what I'm saying.
and I feel you on it. So my question to you is, and again, that goes back to standards and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But as a woman, do you feel like if you expect this from a man, if you expect this man to check this box, and this box, do you not feel like your boxes should have checks in them too?
So now we're talking about personal beliefs, and as I said in your podcast, 100%. I don't
Yeah,
think anyone
I know
who
what I'm
is
finna
not.
say.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
know how
So
you feel about it,
we can dial off it right quick and
but
speak on
as
me
a
personally.
woman, like,
And I am a
I,
woman, so and as a
I know,
woman,
I'm trying to rephrase that. Do you feel like women
hmm
should expect the same thing that they expect from men
Okay,
to a certain
so
extent.
no, and I will answer your question.
Go ahead.
I am not a women are not a monolith first and foremost. Jordan doesn't mind 50, like I said, I've done 50-50. Jordan does not mind men who don't make 50K because I don't make 50K. Jordan does not mind those things. I have done the build a man up, and I believe most women have. That's why that's another one of those things like where it's a hot take and what's actually happening in real life. Because if
Right.
you look back over your life when you were going through times when maybe you didn't have a house, you didn't have a car, I'd be willing to bet you still had a girlfriend or some
Yeah.
woman that was dealing with you. So
And vice versa. That's
that's
why I
how
said I
yeah,
don't.
that's how I have that's why I'm saying when we
Yeah.
come here, we're gonna talk facts and what's really
Yeah.
going on, not hot takes.
And that's
So
why I said, like, I'm not
yeah,
tripping on
so
nobody having standards, but just be willing to bring something. Don't say I want this, and this, and then
right.
you ain't bringing nothing to the table as well.
Okay.
Because
And
if
yeah.
that man is going out getting X, Y, and Z, and then he comes home to nothing, it's really like, damn. After a while, this shit gonna get old.
Okay, so my question is in turn to you. If you as a man are in a position where you see you are not being valued, you see you are being used air quote only for your money, why are you still there?
Oh, me personally, I'll be gone. And I've been in a situation to where it ain't even monetary. Um, I was the dependable guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy that, you know what, I'm gonna go out and do this, and I know when shit hits the fan, I can go back to Kevin. Like I was that guy,
Yeah.
and that fell on me because I always saw the good in people. So,
Say what? Say what?
so I
What?
always say I saw family,
Yeah.
military family. Everybody used to be like, Kevin, you too nice. Kevin, you
Agree.
too,
Agree. And this is
yeah,
from someone that knows you. Yeah.
Kevin, you too nice. And I
Yeah.
had to take a step back and be like, you know what, I am too fucking nice. I
Word.
deserve better. So in that aspect, it falls on that person to really step back and look at like, okay, what am I? And it's okay to be selfish a little bit. Like, what am I
Yeah.
benefiting from this? Like, this person's doing nothing for me. I'm doing all this. Okay,
Completely
I'm gonna
agree.
fall back. I'm out because if I'm gonna do bad, I'm gonna do bad by myself.
Completely 100% agree. And I
So,
think that's something that we can kind of both attest to as decent hearted, decent people. I think a lot of the situations, relationship wise, that we find ourselves in, hot takes or not, being used by a man, being used by a woman, had
mhm,
self love and had self worth been in place like it should have been, we
mhm.
wouldn't even be sitting here talking. Like it wouldn't even be a
Oh,
discussion because
half of these
when
TV shows out here wouldn't be on right now.
right, I completely agree. So, and media does what it's going to do. The trickle down
Oh,
effect is very real.
facts.
It even them people on Basketball Wives behind the scenes are taking shit. So I mean, it's all a look. And unfortunately, what happens with media and the public is the trickle down effect. It we see celebrities or we see TikTok and viral people doing XYZ,
Hmm.
and then we channel that into real everyday life. And I'm so glad. I remember I was watching a podcast one day where a guy, and he hosts what I like to call a red pill podcast, and he said some of you niggas not getting played with women because y'all bringing this talk into real fucking life. You're going on a date, sitting there asking about 50-50 at the table and all this, and getting mad because old girls walking off. This is entertainment. This is not real life.
Right.
So it's like when you bring, and you have the right as a man who knows his worth. When I sit down and I go on this date, if I see this isn't, you have the right to be like, I deserve more than this experience is offering me, so I'm gonna be out.
Right.
And same thing with women.
I was
And
definitely saying,
can
I
we
feel like that
admit
that
that?
goes both ways.
And can we admit that some of the times when we sat there and were used and not appreciated, we didn't get up from the table that we weren't being served at.
Oh, big facts. Because
So
we always,
and okay,
oh, it'll turn around. Like, they'll open
yeah,
like,
very hopeful, very
oh
hopeful.
man, so hopeful. But
Yeah,
let me tell you something about Triple X, K Book of Triple X. Fuck that. Let me tell you something about Kevin. Them days
baby, you should have called me in my 20s, baby. You should have called me in my
over.
20s,
Shit, I ain't gonna
baby.
even say 20s. You should have called me in my early 30s. 37-year-old Kevin right now. Nah.
No, baby,
Because
no.
I've been through too much. I've done too much.
Mhm.
I work too hard. I deal with
Agree.
too much. I'm not. If you want me for me, cool. I'm gonna give you that same energy. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But I need to know beyond a shadow of a doubt when I'm not at, let's say we both getting 50-50 to make our 100.
Mm-hmm.
With them days where I'm at 30, I need you to pick up my extra 20 to help me get along because I'm gonna pick up yours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you get you to where you want to be. I'm gonna motivate you. If your dream is to be this, this, and this, okay, we ain't got to come out the gate running, but we need to go ahead and start making the steps to get you to where you want to be.
Making a plan. Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I say like have come with something.
I agree.
Don't
Okay.
just come and just want to eat at the table, but you ain't even doing nothing to help prepared, or you're not
Okay.
willing to help prepare.
So here's my thing. As far as the money thing, I've noticed that's become another hot take. It's simping if you take women on date. The whole cheesecake, but like all that hot take shit had got really hot over the summer. And one thing I have noticed is that there are some men who feel played or feel a type of way when they take a woman on a date or they keep taking them out on dates and spending money and they feel like they're not getting a fair exchange. So a lot of that whole they're using me for money thing is not even talking about big money. It's talking about stuff that's like paying for dates, getting a gift, very small tokens of affection. And I would like to talk about why that is. Maybe you can expand on it. Like,
It that's a hard one for me. For me, because I can't speak for all men.
okay. Well, like you asked me, as a woman, why do you feel like so? Like as a man, why do you feel like men feel played when they go out on dates or spend money on women and don't necessarily
Because
get what they
because a lot
thought?
of times men feel like I'm going this extra mile. I'm doing this. I'm doing this to show you that hey, I'm interested in you. Like
Hmm.
I work hard for my money and I'm
Yeah,
spending it to make sure that you're happy. And it ain't even got to be sex. Like show me something.
yeah. Well,
Sh-
for you, because like you said, you're not a monolith, but more
yeah,
often than not, we
yeah,
can let's be real. We live in a society where currency somewhere along the line became equal to some sort of reward, and the reward is usually ass, or
hey,
some kind of something. And I
yeah,
would like to dabble on that because technically, what dating is supposed to be, the best way I've ever heard dating described was by Kiera Sheard. Dating is collecting data. That's
facts.
really all that dating is.
I'm learning.
So
We
we're
building that
coming
foundation.
right. So we're coming on this date, but not even building a foundation. We're coming on this date to experience each other to even see if there's even a foundation to build on.
That
You're
vibe.
yes, right. So we're coming to experience each other to see if one or the other is possible. If A, this could potentially lead to a sexual relationship,
Mhm.
or B, it can lead to something else. And you collect the data whether you get the response you were expecting or not.
But then
You
that
still
falls
get what you
into
pay for.
but that then falls into damn, we on our 18 date.
Once again, okay, so let's dial back to that original question. Why are you still there? After a while, it's
That is.
very hard to be a martyr if you are nailing yourself to the cross.
That's true.
After a good, you get 2 good days with me. And if it looked like it ain't, baby, them scissors have become sharp in my 30s. Because like the only reason I can speak so strongly on certain stuff is because I've lived it. I've been that chick that I'm allowing you to string me along for years with an S when the signs were clear off of probably the first month that we're not compatible and this isn't going anywhere. We're not looking for the same things, but you've already
Oh, I could
invested
100%
time.
attest that I've been blind and
Right. You've
sitting.
already invested time. You want to see where this can go. There's potential there. You don't want to be a hoe out here in these streets talking to a bunch of dudes. All that silly stuff I used to really cling on to dearly in my early 20s. Now I say, and this is to men and women, line them up like dominoes.
Come
And
on
where
now.
and baby, line them up like dominoes, and wherever the effort is coming from, that's where you
That's where you
divert
put
your
your energy.
attention. Forget the finest person, because
I'm gonna
men,
get that put on the shirt. Hey, you better line
baby,
them up like domino.
baby, line them up. I
Yeah.
don't
Hey
care
man,
about him
let me
being.
say this too, man. I know a lot of y'all watching this. I know I need a haircut. I know I'm scruffy.
Ain't nobody say nothing about
I'm
no.
I'm looking at myself in this camera like, God damn.
If they can deal with these not laid edges and a puff, they can deal with the rough. So
I told I told my bro I was doing your podcast. He was like, "So you gonna go get
you ain't gonna comb that out, let me
that?"
get that right.
And I was like, "Hey man, they're just gonna see me like this, man. They gonna."
Oh
Hey,
my gosh.
but
The
nah,
authenticity,
though.
bro.
But these conversations that we're having right now.
They need to be had.
They need to be had, and it's not. And like me and you was talking before we turned the cameras on, the conversation like this needs to be had. Not to say that I'm right and you're wrong, or vice
Right.
versa.
Right.
It's so that I can understand your thought process and to understand where you're coming from.
Facts.
And it's just to figure it out. And at the end of the conversation, neither one of us are right or wrong. We have a better understanding of each other now.
Right.
But I my biggest thing for women,
Hmm.
and this is me personally, there's more to you than your pussy.
I completely agree.
I want to
Completely
know
agree.
you. I want to know you for you. I'm looking you in your eye, right?
And
Um,
and and you are what we
hold,
would like to
hold on,
call,
Joe. I ain't
you
finished.
know, go
I'm looking
ahead, go
you. I'm
ahead.
looking you in your eye right now, baby. I want to know you for you. The pussy, that's a bonus. We'll get to that if we get to that. But I want to know you for you. I want to know what makes you tick. I want to know
Not
what
tick.
I want to know your likes and your dislikes. I want you to know my likes and dislikes. And if we can grow from there and we get to that point to where we have sex, by all means, I'm gonna learn what makes you tick so I can make that the best thing ever too. But
Somebody rocking,
I
knocking
want you
her
to
boots.
know that you are worth more than what's between your legs.
You know what? I completely agree with my brother with that, and I would like more women to know that as well. And in turn, let's talk to the men. You're more than what you provide monetarily. Like, okay,
Come
let's
on.
let's talk about that because, as we already stated, men, y'all did set up the patriarchy. Y'all set that up. And what I'm noticing is a lot of men are wanting to step away from the parts of the patriarchy they don't like, but keep the parts they do. See, y'all want to keep the women being submissive. Y'all want to keep the woman cooking and cleaning and being barefoot and
Can you
pregnant. Y'all
stop
want to
saying
keep
can
that.
you stop saying y'all and can you just say
Oh, some men want to
some men?
keep
Thank you.
that. Some men want to keep. I'm not spending no money on you. Is I'm we can spend equally on each other. Or some men want to get away from. But what y'all want to get
Marcus,
away from is the
Marcus said my voice got deep on that part. Tell me, ooh, is his voice getting deep?
It was very odd. That's why I was making faces. I was like,
Hey, that
okay.
one
If
for
you
you.
watch it on YouTube, I don't even know. But
That one for you. That
for
was
the
for the
for the
ladies.
ladies out there.
That
But
was that
here's
was
the
my alter
thing.
ego. Go ahead.
And here's the thing. Some men, gotta be careful with that, have been treating women like nothing more than, let's be real. If that is seriously what you are after, you are an exception. This is from someone who has been dealing with men since they were 15 years
I
old.
promise you this one I'm out. Because for me, and I don't mean
Yeah.
to cut you off, for me, I like long term relationships.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fly by night type shit.
Okay.
So, and I understand that happens. I've had fly by nights. Not to
Yeah.
say that I haven't, but what I want something long term. I want to be able to come home, but like I got somebody to come home to. Or if
Okay.
we're not living together, hey, I'm off this weekend. I'm finna pull up on you and spend time with you this weekend. We ain't necessarily got to be on
Mm.
each other like in each other's skins, but we in each other's space. That's what I want. I can't speak for all men, but that's
Right,
what
right.
Kevin
Because you're
wants.
not a monolith, but we as someone who has dealt with men, and I think women could agree, for the longest time. Can I be frank? Because I'm gonna be frank.
Man, don't be Frank B. Jordan. Go ahead.
May I be frank? A lot of men do not even like women, and when I say I don't mean like in a homosexual way. I mean as people. You don't like our personalities. You don't like the stuff we talk about. And if you ask them a man the ideal woman for him, it really would just be a blow up doll that cooks and cleans. Like the first step would be actually liking women for people and receiving and getting to know them as people. See, that's what I'm talking about. Part of the patriarchy you want to get away from. For the
Mhm.
longest, women have just been viewed for what they can do for you, or pretty much the holes that they bring that you want to clap. And now y'all want to be known for who y'all are and known as people when you've been leading with,
You still saying y'all. Go ahead.
okay, some men
Hey,
still, y'all
you got
still,
on me by saying female, so I'm just giving that same energy.
okay, well, some men,
Go ahead. Yeah.
you no longer want to be viewed by the size of your wallets. You now want to be viewed as people. But this is after centuries of not viewing women as people.
But but
We just got to the point where a woman can open her own bank account in 1974. That my mom was born in 1960. So there's a lot of healing that needs to take place, and y'all coming in the
Okay.
gate hot, want to be like, well, nah, nah, nah. But it's been decades of this, and now you want
Some
to
men.
do
I got
away with. Some men want to do away with the parts that no longer benefit you or that you're not comfortable with anymore,
but
and keep
see,
the parts that benefit you. And you can't have both.
I wouldn't like that though. I
You
wouldn't
can't have
want
both.
to me, submissive goes only so far. I don't want nobody that I can control 100%. I want someone who has their own voice, somebody who has their own mind, so that let's take this conversation for instance. Let's say I was having this conversation with a significant other. I can see her thought process on it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because who knows her thought process? I ain't gonna say it like that. Her thought process will make me look at it a different way, and my thought process will make her look at it a different way.
possibly.
So
Yeah,
we can understand more
of each other.
by being different. We don't have to agree on everything, but
Agree.
being willing to understand each other is big. So I don't want nobody I can just go sit down and then she goes, I don't want a pet. I want a woman.
So okay, and I feel you on that, but it's you look, and the red pill culture is so big, and it just gives y'all don't like us, and I said y'all, and I know because I know you as my brother, I can say that,
Mhm.
but like it comes off as men don't really like women anymore, if they ever did. I think because the okay, like I said, just in 1974, we needed y'all to even open a bank account. Now you're not needed as much as you were. So now you have to bring other things to the table than just, oh my man, and a wallet.
Hundred
And if
percent.
you and here's the thing. It's not that women have not tried to love men for who they were and build men up. Again, that's a fictitious hot take narrative that women are not building men up. This is from Build Up. This is from Fix It Felix. Been there, done that. Like, what are you saying? And if you look over your own life, I promise you, to the men out there, if you're honest with yourself, there was a point in my time, there was a point in my life when I was low as fuck, and there was a woman that still dealt with me. So why are these hot takes becoming law and gospel? I do not know, because there are
Because
indeed women that
that's
are building men
today's
up.
that's
Not
today's
that I co-sign that.
but it's just it's society today. Like they will take a song lyric and it will be gospel.
That's how the trickle down
It,
effect
it,
works. It
it
starts
and
with
it's
the celebrity.
crazy
Yeah.
like that, and that's why these platforms, these conversations need to be had.
Right.
And to I don't, as far as it is, I ain't gonna say we're gonna ever be able to just change the narrative, but we giving people
Mhm.
something else to listen to and go off of, and make them sit back and be like,
Perhaps, maybe what
let me,
I
let me
thought.
let me truly think about this. Like, let me dive deeper into this. But it's society today. I mean, it
Yeah.
is what it is, and that's pretty much what we was hitting on duty and conversations. I'm trying my best not to sing it like I normally do, uh, but it's the same thing, and that's what we. Because I think I had asked you something, but you had jumped off the stream at that
Yeah,
time.
I checked that after a while. Yeah.
But we kind of kept talking a while because you said something getting off, and D was like, I totally agree. And then I went and read what you wrote, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what we always saying. It was just like you said, it's three, four, five different people saying the same thing, but in different ways. So the
Yeah.
perspective of it is wrong. And I'm gonna say this: that's why I hate texting.
I love texting.
I can't stand texting because when I text, for one, I hate texting conversations. But you can read a text message a certain way,
True.
and that's the way you perceive it. But I might not meant it like that. I want to call you, and I want you to hear the tone in my voice. I want you to hear
Yeah.
where it's coming from, because a lot of times when you write something down or you text something, it can be totally misconstrued.
Facts.
But we always saying the same thing, and that's pretty much like I said today. I just want, if you want those things, bring something to the table as well. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking you for having your standards, but
Right.
don't want this, but then you're not bringing something. No matter what it is, you might not
Yeah.
be on his level, but do something.
I
It was
mean,
fun.
and it depends because like we were talking about with Jeff Bezos. If I go on a date, first of all, I vet daters out, which everyone should. If you're asking the proper questions before you get to this date, a lot of these I'm just getting used for dinner dates probably would not even be happening.
Okay.
However, some men do get caught up in the aesthetics and they thinking about
Mhm.
one thing, which is whatever result they want from that date. So you didn't even bother to ask about morals, values, things like that, where you are in life. If you're asking the correct questions, you don't have to ask what do you bring to the table because you
Just leave
came
your woman.
in you came in with the because you're serious. I'm at a point where I'm looking for something real. So I know what I want to know and I'm asking those questions. I'm listening, I'm observing. And if you're doing that properly, you don't even have to worry about, oh, I got ghosted because I'm not going out on a date with somebody that I'm not sure if we haven't even connected yet. If I don't even know if you like me,
Look,
no need to even get to that point. But the questions
I
aren't
ask
being
questions.
asked. The questions are
I
not always being
ask,
asked.
I ask questions because look, only way
Yeah.
you gonna know something is if you know. I mean, if you ask questions, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna open up y'all a book. Hold on, let me read what Marcus wrote because he just wrote a paragraph.
Yes, I see that paragraph.
But no, like I ask questions when it comes to everything
Yeah.
because if I'm interested in you, let's say we got past the date level, we in a relationship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't know something, I'm gonna ask you. Whether
Yeah.
it's about you personally, whether it's about sex. Sex is a big one because a lot of dudes go into a situation and feel like they know
They
everything.
got it. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Every woman is different. So yes, I'm gonna figure stuff out on my own, but I'm gonna ask too because if I'm doing something and
Yeah.
I'm seeing you ain't getting no reaction, okay, how do you like this being done? You know what I'm saying? But before going into a date, we're gonna lay down like I want to talk the big X. You got kids. Like I told you earlier, what's the relationship between you and your kid's father? Okay, this is my
Baby.
situation. This is this and this. Okay, you cool with it? Okay, let's move on to the next step.
Right.
Like this last situation that I was in, I learned so much from her because we went out. I was late. Granted, I was late, but
Oh.
she had ordered me something to drink. We looked at the menus, and when the waiter came, I ordered. You know, she told me what she wanted, and then I told the waiter. And then I learned that about her. Like, okay, she gonna let me be the man. She gonna let me know what she want, and then I'm gonna tell the waiter. And we, you know what I'm saying, split an appetizer. We did all that, and it was a great date. And it was like,
Mhm.
okay, I can get used to this. I see how she functions. You know what I'm saying? But I just picked up that from her, and
Yeah.
she dope. Like, shout out to her. You know who you are if you're watching this. But me and her views on a lot of situations were the same as far as
Yeah.
me meeting the kids and her meeting my, you know what I'm saying, my kids. Like we both felt the same way. We gonna have to get past a lot of levels. This
Yeah.
Mario. You ain't just gonna meet them on level one.
It's a me.
You know what I'm saying? We going past that
Yeah.
because it's a lot of stuff that we hold in that's personal that means a lot to us. If you give
Yeah.
everybody access to that
Yeah.
it loses meaning.
Agree.
So if I'm letting you in, oh yeah, you in there.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And that brings me back to what we were originally saying.
boom to Joe
If a
and
person
podcast.
doesn't share your values, they aren't for you. And I think that's another thing. Sometimes we as society, when we see these hot takes, we feel the need to come in and shut shit down and get them to think our way. And I used to do that. And God had to sit me down one day and tell me, Joe, you are not the sheriff. Like some things, when I see that that's your thinking process, I'm gonna let my like when I got quiet in your duties and
Hmm.
conversation, I was like, I'm gonna let myself out because I can already see we don't share the same, we not thinking the same way, we not talking the same way, and it's not my job to convince you to see things my way. And I can tell after a while, you can tell the difference between a conversation where we're both engaged and people are trying to learn as opposed to people beating their chests in anger.
Yeah.
And no shade, but
So
that's kind of
no
what
no no
I
no.
was getting from
And I
that.
and I got it because you
Whoops.
have
My
four different.
mic.
You drop your water. Oh, you dropped the mic.
Nah, the
You
mic
have
fell in my lap.
four different male personalities.
Yes.
You got one making jokes the entire time. You have one, he's making jokes and being serious. You got one that's serious, and then you got another one that's just kind of, he's engaging in a conversation, but he's sitting back too. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, I wish you would have stayed for the entire thing, because after
Yeah.
you got off, like we kept talking, and it was just like, yeah, we both agree on this. I got to get you on the episode too.
Lord.
I don't
But of
know.
course I'm in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
what
don't
I
know.
said to the when they brought up the video originally and they were going back and forth about it, my
Mhm.
thing was, well, I don't think anybody should be dating if they're not financially stable, male or
True.
female. And the beating of the chest continues. I was like, okay, never mind. But for me personally, even right
But you hear
now,
what you just
I'm
said?
what the beating of the
Male
chest,
or female. You
right?
didn't just say male, you said male or female. And a lot of, and that was the hiccup. It's
Oh,
like,
okay,
okay, your standard is this man, this, and this. But like I keep saying, like, what are you bringing to the table? You instead of saying, okay, you want your man to have this, and this. Why? What are you bringing to the table that you want him to have this, and this?
right,
Because
right.
if you bring in, if I'm bringing steak and potatoes, and you just coming and
With
you ain't even,
roles,
it ain't even even if you bring the rolls, you bringing something.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you just coming to eat.
Okay, may I counter that? Okay, so and what I said when we talked afterwards was what I just now said. I'm not answering to no grown man what I'm bringing to the table. If at
Hmm.
this age you do not know the benefit of what a woman can bring to your life, it is not for me to teach you and I'm not about to. And believe me, I used to be that chick. I would stand in front of my invisible good woman pie chart with my little pointer
But you know,
faithfully.
and this is my thing
Faithfully.
to that. You know what you're bringing to the table. I'm not saying that those women
Right.
aren't bringing anything to the table. But for those who
Those
are
women,
not
yeah.
bringing nothing to the table, that still have that mindset, oh, he
Yeah.
has to do this, and this. Nah, baby, that ain't reality.
And to you, I say, you're not the sheriff. If you see a group of women that feel that way, I'm going to exit stage left because we're not on the same wavelength. This isn't
And
my
and
people.
And I get it. That's why I say everybody
Yeah.
has to stand. Everybody has their own way of thinking.
Yeah.
My question was
What do
why,
you, and who are you? Who are you to determine what is valuable at this table that they may or may not be
and
bringing?
that's cool. But
Two men with money,
my
sex is
question
enough.
is why? Help me understand. That's why I want to have a conversation. Help
Right.
me understand why. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Because
I respect that. Yeah.
that's my whole thing is why. I'm not
Why
saying
is
that
that your
you're
thing?
wrong or
Yeah.
right, because in your mind you might be right. But why? Help me understand why you feel like this man's supposed to have this and you don't have to bring nothing. Help me truly
Help
understand
me.
why you feel the
Help
way that you
me.
do.
Okay, and I respect that. And I guess, like I said, I do see. First of all, I'm either or. If a wonderful man comes along and I can trust him to handle financials all the way around, and I ain't gotta do shit but write books and make podcasts and cook and clean, which is what I'm doing anyway. By all means, have at it. And if I
But
meet a
guess what you
wonderful
just
man,
did? Guess what you
what?
just did though?
What?
You brought something to the table.
But that's what I'm doing anyway. So
I know I'm just saying.
if all she's bringing is what she was doing anyway, and that's enough for that man, because this wouldn't be a standard if it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Some man out there is okay with whatever she's bringing, even if that is just conversation and cat. So who are you to double back and say what you bringing ain't enough? It's
But
not
shit,
enough for you.
after a while, once she started getting what she wanted, she cut the cat off in a conversation and you steady giving, then what? But that falls back to what we said earlier.
He should know
You
his
have to know
worth
when you
and
pull
get
out the
up from the
situation.
table, right? So if he's sitting
So,
there,
and that's
because
why I feel like
yeah,
how we
go
having
ahead.
this conversation, I'm asking why
Hmm.
we having this conversation. We getting the understanding of X, Y, and Z, and
Yeah,
that's all it was is why, because I feel like this, and I'm letting you know why I feel like this, and I want the rebuttal. Okay, well, this is why I feel the way you do, why the way I do. All right, cool. Now I got to understand on your mindset.
yeah,
Again, I'm not saying you wrong, but you just help me understand why you feel the way that you feel.
right.
But you get some of these hot takes. They go out there and they tell women this is what it should be.
Okay,
You know what
and
I'm saying?
and
And then,
my rebuttal to that is, so what?
and it's cool. Okay, so why? Help me understand why. And that's the only thing. Help me
Yeah.
understand why.
Okay, because like I said, I don't mind either way. So when I see sisters, because I know women in real life who do not work and they man does all the bill, and I know people that My mama worked and my daddy worked. So I've
Hmm.
seen both up close. Um, it's not my place to understand why you feel like, you want a man that's going to pay all your bills. And I'm not finna come over here with my, well, I'm not finna be a 50-50 warrior you down
Yeah,
and make you see things my way.
I
And
just want to know the
you know,
mindset for
I
my
don't even
understanding.
want to know the mindset because it
But
has
for
nothing to do
me,
with me.
it's for my understanding because I
And
like
do you really want to understand, or are you just trying to push your way of thinking on that person?
no because I would want you to push your way of thinking on me. I
Facts.
truly want to understand like where you come from because that's the only way I'm gonna grow. You know
And
what
I
I'm saying?
think, and to help kind of answer your question, since we don't have a 100% person here that doesn't work and the husband takes
Yeah.
care of them, also that leads back to patriarchy. Once upon a time, that is what it was.
Hmm. but that
So
woman,
once
but that woman was
again,
at home while that man was out earning. She was at home taking care of the household.
baby Cap, have you not watched The Help? Them women had no jobs, had nannies and maids. So what were they bringing that was of value to these white men? Whatever it was, they was getting it. Not even just, I mean, I only say white men because at that point in time, the black social, economic,
Yeah.
just wasn't, not too many people, not too many black people in the 60s had nannies and maids. I'm not saying they didn't, but that was more so seen in white households. And those women did not cook. They did not take care of their own kids and they did not work.
But you know what that man was doing? The nanny.
Maybe. Perhaps. And that's part of the patriarchy that benefited him. Since
Yeah.
I'm bringing home the bacon, I can do what I want to do. You ain't cooking or cleaning either, bitch. I'm this and okay. So here are some women in today's time that are trying to hold you all to that standard that you never tore down. That system is still in
And
place.
it's crazy
But
because
now y'all not feeling it. And y'all, some of y'all, now you're not feeling it no more. I
you know
forget
what's
that. That
crazy
was the
when I look
60s.
back on it's like the help and I look back on at times like that. It's like
Yeah.
times is that revolving door of time is coming back because a lot of times those men were in those situations because it looked good. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
The
when I say
appearance,
you hit the
the
head,
appearance
you
of
hit
it
it on the
was
head. Yes.
amazing.
It's an
Like,
image because to other men, I hate to say it, but the patriarchy, the image,
mhm.
it's really for other men because women do not care. So at this age, a man should have XYZ. And those XYZs included a wife that stayed at home and did not work. In fact, they probably would have been talked about if they woman clocked in somewhere.
I would have been the milkman.
In that
And
times you would
I
have
just
been.
you know if that
But it was
milkman was
it
right.
was a part of the status symbol to
Yeah.
have a wife that did not work.
Yeah. Because it made that
Only
man look
poverty had two income household.
yeah.
That was us. That was our
And the
grandmothers
image
and
of that
grandfathers.
was with the
Yeah.
stay at home wife who didn't have to do anything. We had a wife was, oh, this man is wealthy. He can afford,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? It's that image of
Mm-hmm.
they probably was unhappy, but the image was there.
That's all
You
it was about. And it wasn't even to impress women, or it was to one up the other brother at the
know?
country club. It was for it was for that. So here's the thing. If we want to get away from that, tear it all limb from limb. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't keep the parts that benefit you
So for me,
and get rid of the parts that you don't like no more.
for me, I'm gonna start my foundation with whoever I
Hmm.
end up talking to. I want both of us to ask those questions. I want both of us
Facts.
to we're gonna start this foundation right. It ain't gonna be no cracks in it. Now,
Okay.
once we start building and things get a little loose, that's when me and you gonna sit down, go over the plans, and then we're
Hmm.
gonna start back building again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make sure this foundation and this structure that we're trying to build is good because we're not always gonna see eye to eye.
Facts.
But for me going in, I'm not saying you got to be on the same level as me. I'm not saying that I have to be on the same level as you.
Right.
But I'm bringing something to the table, and I want you to bring whatever it is that you bring to the table. I want that too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We don't have to be 50-50 because in life, especially the way life is now, it's so up and down.
Facts.
You're not gonna be able to give me all of you at times, and I'm not gonna be able to give you all of me at times. But I want you to know when you can't give me all of you, I'm there to help you,
Facts.
and
Can
vice
can I
versa.
chime in? Because I like that. Actually,
Yeah.
Michelle Obama had said on the podcast she did on her book tour that most times it is not 50-50. Some days
Mm-mm.
it's 26 or whatever the math is. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's 30, 75, whatever. So like there are times that it would be years of a stretch that she only had 20 to give or
Mhm.
Barack only had 20 to give. So my thing is when people ask me, I would desire to be married, but I more so want a partnership. Like a husband is nice, but a partner is better.
Yeah.
And that's why I said both need to come with something. A, because the power dynamic is real. Financial abuse is real. All
Fact.
that type of stuff is very real. And we would, and we still live in a society that's very obsessed with submission. Why? Because it's presented to us through the church. And sometimes that's misconstrued. And, the man's supposed to be the leader, which I'm an old school girl. As modern as I am, I'm still an old school girl. So I'm fine with a man leading. But also, leadership looks like a lot more than what we've been told.
Oh, fact.
Everybody wants to lead until it's time to really fucking lead.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to lead in, okay, I get to make the decisions. I get to say where we live. I get to say how many kids we have. I get to say what you
Check
can
this
wear.
out.
I get to say this, and the third. But when it's time to lead in giving, when it's time to lead in
But you want to know what come with
vulnerability,
leadership? Leadership is hard.
baby, leadership is servitude.
Oh my
What do
God.
you mean? Like, come on now.
Like when you
Like
lead, you're not really leading. You really making sure
serving. Yeah.
yeah, like
Baby, what? We still got people arguing about who get the plate first. If you are a man that is on the internet arguing about who gets the plate first, stop dating right now.
let me tell you something.
Because you need to go somewhere, learn to actually lead, and you need to heal because what in you wants
I
to be
don't
put
care.
above a
If
helpless
we go to
child?
classic right now, I don't care who get that chicken out that box. As long as I got a thigh out that Southern Classic box, I'm good.
I'm a
I'm
thigh girl too.
yeah. That's the best part of the chicken. But to me, but
Right. So it's like we want to, some men, I'm not saying all, you want to
mhm.
lead when it comes to the macho stuff, but when it's time to do the things you deem feminine, you checking out. But lead in apologizing, lead in kindness, lead in respect, lead in servitude. What do you bring to the table? How about you bring your stuff to the table first in leadership, leader? How
To
about you
me,
lead? So, but I'm more at the point in my point in life. I want a partner because, like you said, I'm not always gonna be 100, and neither are you.
mhm.
So we can do this old school patriarchy stuff if you want, but it doesn't seem to be working out in men's favors because the suicide rates ain't no joke.
I don't think. And speaking of suicide, I am doing a 30-hour gaming stream for from the 16th to the 24th to bring awareness to soldier suicide. So y'all just pull up on me on my Twitch. You said suicide, so I wanted to.
Right, and it's a big thing amongst
But
our men. Yeah, for real.
that is big with relationships and everything that's going on. We don't ask how are you mentally enough. We can ask, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
But I had to stop and I'm really starting to ask like close friends, like, how are you mentally?
yeah,
Because I was gonna ask you that. You know what I'm saying? Before we got done with this, I was going, how are you mentally? Because we don't ask that. And the person can be going through everything. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You in Texas now. I'm still in the boot. So I don't have eyes on you at all times.
yeah,
But we need to get in a habit of asking people, how are you mentally? Like truly,
yeah.
how are you? Because you don't a person can be carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders.
On
And
their shoulders.
you
Yeah,
never know it. And it's suicide rates are high
they are.
right
They
now.
are. So we can do that old school where you the man and you're and you don't do nothing but pay the bills, or we can be partners. It's up to you. But we can't have both.
I like that thought process too.
We can't
Because
have both. So
in a partnership, that person is gonna be there when you can't give your 50% of their 100. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They're going to be there to pick up the slack. And it's your job in that partnership when they aren't, you know what I'm saying, they're all, you have to pick up that slack. But you also, during that time, you're not putting them down. You're motivating them and trying to figure out
Facts.
what you got to do to get them back to their best selves. So
Facts.
I like that thought process. Like you
And
want
here's the
a partner
thing.
as
Oh, go
well.
ahead. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying, like I like that thought process. You want a partner as well as a husband and or wife. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing. When you are single, that is when you should be building up your partnership skills. And I would love to say that that's how I came out swinging. It wasn't. That's why right now in life, that's my mentality of man or woman, you need to be coming. I don't like that term bringing something to the table. But if you are not an asset by default, you are a liability.
So I would change that and say, are you an asset? Because that's honestly what I mean when I say bringing it to the table. Are you an asset or are you a hindrance?
Facts. So I mean, and it depends on who is at the table and whose table it is on what's what. Like to
And
you, maybe a woman
understanding
with no job isn't a yeah.
everybody's
You're
not bringing
just
the
pussy
same
to
thing to
me.
the table,
Yeah,
but
but to that guy who is financially stable, all he wants some companionship. And if that's all she's bringing, that's enough for him. That's why I keep my mouth closed when people say what's for them, because I don't have the 100% table for you, fella. Sorry. Like if you look for a sugar mama, keep looking because the answer is no.
but
Um,
even and that's why I say even when saying that if it's just companionship, that's still an asset that you're bringing to him.
yeah,
But or her, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a bunch of wealthy women that just want somebody there to talk to.
to talk to
And
and to them that is more precious than can you cook,
mhm,
clean, and do you have a 401k or whatever. Now for me at my point of life, I'm currently not dating. Like I want, yes, I am technically off the market. I shut down all of my dating things because I'm not really comfortable with certain things, and there's
mhm,
things I want to get established and in place before I call myself bringing somebody into my life. Now I've met men, and I'll let them know like, hey, I'm in a building stage, so if you're okay with that and you won't be a distraction, that's fine. But I'm trying to
mhm.
get, I'm not comfortable with how much is in my savings. I'm not comfortable with where my credit score is at. I'm trying to get me and my kids a house. Like between last year and now, I got my credit score up nearly 100 points. So I've
Let's
been on it.
go.
And also I'm in school.
Let's
So
go. I'm
like
gonna take a shot to
your
that.
girl is
Come on now.
preoccupied. Thank y'all.
Boom. I'm gonna take a shot
Yes,
to
baby.
that.
So I mean, I didn't move to a whole different state, so I got stuff I'm trying to do. And if all you finna do is be in my face and drop dick, you are in the way. But I'm doing all that for myself first and foremost. Because remember, like if that's all you like, I got school. Like, what do you mean? Like, and then I gotta work. Like, and then I got these kids. Where are you going to fit in? And if you're okay with barely fitting in, if you're okay with that, we can talk. But once you become a distraction, you gotta go. So technically, I'm off the market. However, it's so that when I come to the market, if you will, and I sit down because I know I'm bringing my best, I'm looking my best, I'm losing the weight, I've
Come
lost the
on
weight,
now.
I feel good, my credit score is good, it's a little bit of some of my savings, I like my job, I like where I live, I'm bringing a little something with me aside from the wonderful things I possess just as a person. So when I come to said market, I can demand your best, and if you're not willing to give it, I can bounce, and I don't have to settle.
Come on now. I
Because when
think
I
for
was
me,
single, I did the work to be a good partner, and therapy is included in that.
yeah.
I did the hit. You're not sitting here talking to no woman that hate men and got something against men and all niggas ain't shit. So I'm not finna sit here and talk to no man that got issues with women. Sorry.
Hmm.
I'm not
And,
finna be the
and
one to
ladies, let
prove
me
to you
let
I'm
me look y'all
different.
in your eye again. I don't want y'all to think that I got issues with women.
I
And she's not saying that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I'm not saying that, but
But this is just conversation for understand. I love women. But I think for me,
this
God,
is the most I've heard him say women. We normally females, but go off. But
I'm gonna tell you, the truth. That's a military thing because it's males and females. Like
true.
that's the female barracks. That's the male
Water.
barracks. So that's mainly where that comes from.
I hear
But
you. I hear you.
I
But
think
yeah,
God,
so
I
and I
think
think
God really
everybody
told me.
should date that way. And maybe it's still now I don't get me wrong. I know there are couples who met when they were younger, started from the bottom and built up.
Hmm.
That is a thing, and I know it exists. But would I advise my daughter to do that? Would I advise my sons? No. No. Bring your best to the table so that you can demand another person's best. And
I'm gonna tell
if
you something.
go ahead.
Last year, I think that was the thick of. Now that shot kind of hit. Hold on.
How you gonna interrupt and then speak and then drink and cough?
Sorry, that shot had a little kick behind it. Last year was the thick of my storm.
Okay.
Like when I tell you I broke down, I broke. And I
Mhm.
know this kind of remind me of duty conversation because we start on one subject and then we just venture off
Baby, I got
into different.
ADHD. That happens on a regular.
But, but let y'all in on the inside for me. Last year was like the thick of my storm. I hit my breaking point. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Where I was just like, you know what, I can't do no more. When I tell you, when I hit that bottom, and I mean I smacked that bottom, and
yeah.
it was something simple, but it was enough for me to break. God opened the door.
Okay.
And when I say things have been falling into place for me, like I'm blessed. And I say all that because I want a relationship. God knows I want a relationship.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's sitting me down.
Okay.
He was like, look, all this is falling into place for you. We getting you back on track. We getting you where you need to be. And then when the time comes, I'm going to put that woman in your life
Yeah.
that's meant for you. So having this conversation with you and hearing you just say that, it made me sit back and be like, that's probably why I'm not in a
Because
relationship.
is that fair to that other person? And I've been
Yeah.
there. That's why I tell the men up front when I meet them, like I'm in a building, I'm not really much of an asset right now. If we try to get something together, this credit ain't really hitting like that. If you want to and are willing to, fine. But is that fair to you? Is that fair to my future husband that when I was single, I didn't take that time to be the best version of myself I could to bring that to him? It's almost selfish to be like, you have to build me up. Really? What were you doing before you met me? Why weren't
Man.
you preparing for me and your future children?
And I think that's what it is, because I've been on the other side of that fence where I was ready
Yeah.
for a relationship. I was where I needed to be. And then I took on something that wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And then it
Mm,
put me in a bad
in a
place.
bind.
In a bind. And so it's just like, okay, you went through this, so why would you do it to somebody else?
Big
So
facts.
I'm taking control. I'm
Big
going to
facts.
sit you down. You on the right track. These doors are opening up for you. These All this stuff is opening up for you. So just be patient. And what's meant for you is gonna be meant for you.
Amen.
So just keep pushing. Yeah, I done shot my shot. You know what I'm saying? I've learned. I try to learn from every situation. And I
That's
just
me.
and
Yeah.
I just sit back now and I just be like, okay, it's not the time.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna sit back, refocus, and get back on the grind and keep pushing. And then eventually
Yeah.
what's meant for me is gonna come.
Yeah. I think Toya said it best. That's my sister, by the way. She was like, the man for me will find me doing God's work. The man for me will find me busy at my
Yeah.
purpose. And I absolutely agree. You'll find right now, when men walk up on me, they walking up on me with my head down. I'm working on this next book. I'm working on this comic. I'm working on this podcast. I'm trying to get a promotion at this job, which I just got, by the way. I'm back in
Shout
school.
out.
Baby, what? We're not playing no games right here. Because even if what I wish would have been pushed on us as young people, and that's one of the things I was gonna point out. We gotta hurry up and heal and get it together and get off
Oh
these
yeah.
podcasts because the next generation coming up. Mine been to be 15 this year.
Let it
So
be
we
7.
gotta, yes.
Do you realize, like,
So we
six?
got to get it together so we can get this next generation right, so we can get this black love and this community back on point. But we have to heal and get our shit together
Come
first.
on.
So we can't teach what we don't
Come
know.
on.
And
Say it
unfortunately,
again and say it a little louder. We got to do it.
you heard what I said. We got to get this community and black love, or wherever you find love. Love is love. But we got to get this. We got to get this community back on point.
But
And it's hard to build with
you
tools
have
you
to
don't
heal.
have.
You have to heal first.
Right.
Me and my boy Nook and my boy Rob was talking earlier during my stream earlier, and we was talking about the suicide stuff, and we was talking about being selfish to the fact that where
Cash
you
app
take
you a
it,
dollar. That's
huh?
your brother talking about cash app him a dollar. Nah, Betty. Go ahead. I just
Right.
told you ain't no sugar mama here.
We were just talking about it's okay to be selfish and look out for self. Like, it's okay to take time to get you together. It's okay to tell a
Hmm.
person, no, I gotta take care of me first. It's okay to say that. It's okay to
Yeah.
pamper yourself and take time to make sure that you are good. That's not
Yes.
saying that you don't care about nobody else, but how can you truly be there for somebody when you're not at your best?
Man, I wish you too, because we some givers and big hearted people. And I wish straight out the gate, straight out of high school, we would have been on some straight up and down selfish shit. Now I wouldn't have my kids if I was, but how this is the time where I gotta get me all the way straight. And I do a little dating here and there to see what I like and learn me. But it's people that didn't have access to me, access to my body, that should have never got my number.
Come on now.
And I'm sure you can relate to that. But I admit,
What?
I didn't jump off the porch with the self love and the self worth that came throughout the years, and I want to make sure my boys do. So we have these kind of conversations. We are very raw in the Evans household. We keep it 100% real.
I'm talking about
Yes,
Eddie Murphy
yes,
raw.
be kind. Yes, yes, one day you're gonna be somebody's husband, you're gonna be somebody's father. So these are things you need to know. And it might be early to have these conversations, but the seed's been planted. However, since you know you bring these wonderful things to whatever this potential partner may be, know your worth.
Mhm.
Know when to get up when love is no longer being served, if it was ever being served at all.
Come on
Don't
now.
sit like I'm here for ride or die. That's what we were given. That's what me and my homegirls are given. Stand by your man. It's you talk about what's in the music. What's been in the music is stand by a raggedy Negro no matter what he put you through. Stand by in every genre. That's a country song. And then you got, Barbara and Shirley having a piece of a man is better than no man at all. So I mean, the
I'm
culture
not gonna
hasn't
play no more.
really the culture hasn't man, that raise was like $1, man. That's that's why I'm trying to get my shit together. Now I'm back in school. I'm trying to clock these dollars. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
proud
But
of you.
thank you.
I'm proud of you.
But in what was I saying? Yeah, so even society necessarily isn't, necessarily pushing, and we gotta be that voice because like we said, the hot takes are the voice right now.
Yeah.
It starts at home. So we gotta be the voice to these boys and to these girls. And we gotta unlearn first of all, we gotta unlearn the shit we've been taught and learn something new. And that's not always easy.
But that comes from listening and willing to understand.
Agree.
It comes from stuff like
Stuff like
this.
this. You have to be willing to accept that maybe the garbage you were sold was just that, and no matter where it came from. Like I said, the church has been a bit of a part of the problem as well. The
That's
divorce
a
rate
whole
of
nother.
the divorce rate of the church is
Let
extremely
me tell you
high,
something.
50%.
That's I have a totally different perspective and relationship with the church from when I
From when you and I attended church,
was in
yes,
that mug Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You know
same,
what I'm saying?
same. And I still identify as a Christian. That is my relationship. However, I do think that some of the toxicity that has been passed down, patriarchal and indifferent, the church has
And that
propped it
comes
up.
from you can go listen to 5 preachers preach the same scripture. That meaning of that scripture will be 5 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody interprets the Bible their own way.
Their own way. That's true. So it's like some of the stuff that I wish our church would have more so taught girls to love themselves and hold out and see the world instead of preparing us to be wives, to men that barely even knew themselves, to young men that barely even knew themselves. Why weren't we learning about finances? Why weren't we learning about real estate?
We was trying to go to summer camp.
You know what I'm saying? Why weren't we learning about tools that we actually need in day-to-day life? Why weren't we learning about mental health and self-love? Why isn't this being taught? God is literally a God is love. Agape is love. But I'm not, faulting the church. I'm not, but do they play a part? Yes.
Mhm.
They play their part, and society plays the rest of its part. Me personally, I am 100% for breaking down the patriarchy brick by brick and everything it stands for and building together communal love. That's me. I feel like we can come together, build a life together, respect each other, and like each other as people, not just some
Mhm.
weird obligation that somebody said we had to have, like, or some weird dynamic that I will always vouch for works for what you do, what works for you in your household. Have you ever tried to talk to somebody that was so indoctrinated? This particular young man didn't. His parents weren't even married. My parents were, and I've seen that stuff up close. And we would get in arguments, big arguments about hypothetical shit that hasn't happened yet because you're trying to fit, like you said, an image of what you thought a
Mhm.
man and a woman is supposed to look like. And I remember telling him one day, if you would just let us be ourselves, we would be so happy.
Yeah.
But you keep trying to fit me into this circle when I'm a square, and you knew I was a square when you got with me. And instead of just loving me as the square I am, you keep trying to make me a circle and we keep butting heads. This isn't peace. I'm good. Like somebody else can have it. Somebody can have it. Like, let's stop selling this BS that there's only one way that a relationship can look and work. If you find you a man that's willing to pay all them bills and let you stay at home with them babies and paint pictures or whatever the fuck you want to do, have at it. And don't sit
Yeah.
there and be like, well, a real woman goes 50-50. Fuck all that. Go love on him. Let him love on you as long as he's not being controlling and manipulative. Have at it. And if you have found you a good man that you have to go 50-50 with because he ain't quite where he's trying to get yet, and you're okay with that, fuck the girls that's coming in your ears talking about, oh girl, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. You're right, and it's not you. And that's fine. And I'll come visit you because you ain't working. But right now I am. And there is no right or wrong. What works for you?
And that's all it is. I don't want my relationship to be like everybody else's relationship. Like
Facts.
my relationship is going to be unique. It's going to be our relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to
Yeah.
be a carbon copy. It's not going to be, oh man, you and that couple, y'all just the same. No, we not.
We're not. Not over here. We ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit of old school, a little bit of new school. Like, you let your girl talk like that? Yeah, that's her personality. What I'm supposed to do? Backhand her every time she, like, if you one of them types, you wouldn't like me because I'm going to speak my mind. Like, I'm a big statured lady. You ain't finna stun me. I'm 6 feet tall. So what you finna do?
You are Amazon. You know what I'm saying? You
Baby,
are
put me
about
in the
7 foot.
Amazon. I'm 7 foot. But all right, I'm gonna let you get that scruffy beard. I'm gonna let you have that.
Hey,
But
and then was scrub. Look, ooh, we.
but I would see the men. I used to jump in them conversations and be like, da 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 da. No, let them have that. You want to live your life based off a hot take? I don't even want to understand
And
your
see,
thinking.
that's why I
It's
was
not for
like,
me.
when you kept saying like, I'm finna get out the conversation. That's why I was like, no, don't, because if you just jump out the conversation, then we'll never know your perspective and your thinking of said conversation. And that's why I tell everybody who kind of do
Hmm.
their conversations, I'm sorry, I got to do duty in conversations. Um,
Exactly, Lamarcus. Why are you trying to take shots at my height?
and about to
It,
take shots
it's
at her
giving
height.
mad because viewers, he's about 5'6".
Who? Who
You
5'6"?
5'7".
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I am not 5'6" or 5'7". Thank you.
Let's come, sir.
That's how tall you thought I was?
That's how I know you is. What you,
No, ma'am. I am not 5'6" or 5'7".
sir? Okay, 5'8", and that's as far as
I
I'm going.
I am 5'5". Thank you. Thank you. Y'all hear that?
I could not. I could
Let's
not.
go. Somebody thought I was 5'6" or 5'7", possibly 5'8". Come on now. Let's go. But no,
My chest.
but when we have conversations, we're doing conversations, and we have those deep conversations, no matter if it's like situations like this,
Yeah,
no matter if we're talking about um step parenting, no matter if we're talking about dealing with people with kids, no matter
yeah,
what we're talking about, we want everybody to give their opinion, because we're going to ask, okay, why do you feel like this, so we can get a better
yeah,
understanding. And it sometimes the conversations get heated and they get aggressive, but it's nobody telling you that you're wrong.
yeah.
It's it just get heated because everybody's passionate. So when
Or
they're
they're triggered. Sometimes it's
or
passion, and
they're
sometimes
triggered,
it's
and
triggers.
then it's
Yeah,
like they're going off and they're telling you it's so much emotion because they done been through this, and they telling you how they feel,
yeah.
so much passion. Like I told you, the conversation me and my boy D had, like we literally ended the stream, called each other,
I'm gonna have
you
to
know,
see. You got to run that back. I'm gonna have to watch
and
that.
had that conversation to where we both had an understanding of where each other was coming from. We weren't calling each other wrong.
Yeah,
We were just both felt the way that we felt. So
yeah.
I'm gonna take the extra step, and we're gonna have this conversation, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna figure this out. Okay, this is why you feel this way, and I understand why you feel this way, but this is why I feel this way.
Right.
Okay, now I understand where you coming from. But it's cool, and I like when those conversations get deep like that, because
Yeah.
then you're getting to the root of
Root of
why
the
a
issue.
person feels and thinks the way that they feel. So that's why I wanted you to stay in for do their conversations. Next, this coming up Thursday, I don't know what
The topic.
the topic's gonna be.
I swing through, but it
Can
was
I let you know
giving.
right now?
Yeah, it was giving barbershops. I was like, you know what? I'll let the fellas do their thing because at a certain point, you can tell the difference between I'm here, like we know this is here. We're here to educate. We're here to get perspective from each other, and when we just look for people to co-sign our foolishness.
Right.
And I kind of got okay. We look for people to co-sign the foolishness here. Don't nobody want to hear that everybody should be getting themselves straight while you're not dating. So I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah,
But
and we felt, because like that's what D said. D was like he got a new job. He just moved
mhm,
back. Um, to Houston. He's working on getting him a new work truck. He's working on this, and this, and
Yeah.
he's getting himself together. And that's why when you had wrote what you had wrote, he was just like, "Yeah, I totally agree because that's what I'm doing now."
Yeah.
X Y Z X Y Z X Y Z. That's why I said a lot of what we were saying was the
Yeah.
same. It
The
was
same.
worded different, and it was coming off as
Yeah.
different.
But can I chime in and say that a woman does not have to deal with you while you're in your building stage? She has
Oh,
the right to
100%.
say, because that's why I presented. I'll say, okay, young man, I'm in a building stage right now. If you
Yeah.
cool with that, we can talk. I give you the option. I'm not finna get in my feelings if you say, nah, I'm good. You got
So
to come see me when you get your shit
recently,
together. Yeah.
there's a woman. She was in the military with me. We talked, and she told me she has a lot going on. Like she's not thinking about a relationship pretty much for the rest of the year. She just focused on. I'm cool with that. I'm not mad at you. It's not gonna make me. It's not going to make me look at you different. It's not
Yeah.
going to ruin our friendship. Cool. I understand. Do what you need to do to better do what's better for you and yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The the woman I was talking to, she is a full-time mom, two jobs, does it all at the same time. She has a lot
Yeah.
on her plate. She told me that. I'm cool with it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? My biggest thing was communication. Like hit me
Yeah.
up sometime, like talk to me. Like let me know you good. If this is what you want, let's work towards it. I'm not trying to stop you. I want to make
Yeah.
life easier for you if I can. But
Hmm.
I'm not trying to hinder what you're doing. I call her
Right.
super mom all the time. I call her what is her name? I can't even, I just had a brain
Wonder
fart.
Woman.
Black Wonder Woman Naomi.
Nubia.
Nubia. That's what I
Yeah.
call her. Nubia. Like I call her that because she is truly Wonder Woman. She's a
Yeah.
strong black woman who does it all and she figures it out. So I understand where your time is going.
Yeah.
I understand that there's going to be times where we can't go out, but
Yeah.
communication is big. Let me know. Hit me up
Yeah.
sometime. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree
I,
with that.
I
And
get it.
before you go, I definitely think we should revisit dating and how it should be done. And I think part of the disconnect between the hot takes and the actual dating world are is set up in the way we are dating. Like we said earlier,
It's
I
crazy.
know I used to be very big on I'm talking to one guy. I'm only gonna talk to this guy because I'm
Mhm.
getting to know you. And with age, I come to find that that's some bullshit and a waste of time. If you know what you're by this age, we ought to know ourselves enough to know, and that's part of it. First of all, there's a lot of people trying to date that do not know themselves.
I wanted to do I wanted to do that to be one of my topics for Dude in Conversations is dating now because it's different. It is so
But
different
is
than
it
dating
really
before.
though? Like, there's only so
For
many
me,
things that are new under the sun. Some of the core
for
stuff
me
is
it
still the
is
same.
because social media plays a big part in dating now.
I
To
give
a
you
certain
that. I
extent.
give you that.
Back then we didn't have all this. Most we had was MySpace and Black Planet. Shout out to you because you did my
MySpace.
background for Black Planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I met my
You know
baby
what's
daddy on
crazy? That was
MySpace.
all computer coding back then, and we was doing that shit like it was nothing.
Right, I was very cold. Me and my sister, yes.
But yeah, so it is different now than then. So that's probably, ain't no problem. That's going to be the topic for Thursday's duty and conversation.
And when you say it's different, and I feel kind of
I
opposite. I
say,
don't feel
I
like there's
say
anything new
age,
under the
and I
sun.
want to say now that I'm older too, dating is
Yeah,
different now because my perspective is different on dating.
perspective has changed.
Yeah.
Agree. And it's like I think social media kind of just speeds up the process. I know a lot of ladies are very, and men too, are very what they feel old school. They don't want to try this, then, and the third. Okay, but if I'm looking for soap or if I'm looking for shoes, I'm gonna go to Foot Locker. If I'm looking for shoes, I'm going to Foot Locker. And then I look at the shoes that are presented and I find the pair that's for me and I leave with it. I feel like all social media has done is speed up the process that you were trying to do anyway. Because what's the difference between meeting, swiping left and meeting men on the internet and vetting them out that way, as opposed to meeting one guy in the library and talking to him for 6 months before you find out he ain't shit. So I think it just speeds up the process. And
That
if you
sounds like
do
you
it
went to the
right,
library before.
I've never met a guy at the library, but
I never said
and
that
if
kind
you're
of sound
doing it
personal.
right, you don't get burned out, too emotionally involved and sick of the shit. Because when you have a goal, I'm here for the goal. I'm here to
Mm-hmm.
be somebody's wife. So not just somebody, a good man who compliments me and is a partner. So I'm here for the goal. And I think with dating, we get I like this guy, I like him, that's when we start overlooking red flags. That's when we stop asking questions. That's when we stop noticing stuff that's right there, trying to make a square fit into a circle. When have your questions, when you see something that's off, bounce. Because like you said, we were taught to stick around, stick it out, wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, not anymore. No.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Virgo. I'm observing you. I'm listening to you when you actually speak. Because quality time is my love language. So we're gonna sit, we're gonna lean in close. I'm gonna observe you, I'm gonna talk. The music is not loud wherever we at. And I'm gonna hear, yeah, and we're gonna
Now,
talk, and I'm gonna hear what you saying.
when
I'm
you said you gonna
observing.
when you said you gonna lean in close, she was like, "We're gonna talk." I'm leaning in close. Like I pictured you, y'all watching a movie on Netflix, and then you just
Nah, I'm gonna ask the questions. I'm observing how you treat the waitress. I'm looking at all that. I'm asking you big questions, trying to see
and
your point of view, your morals, and your values up front to even see if there's a point. And if I don't care how cute you are, how much money you make, etc. If I cannot see day to day life with you, we don't. There's no need to waste your time any further. And on to the next guy. And it's like at first, dating used to be so. I used to be so distraught when it would go sideways in my early 20s because I was dating
mm-hmm.
one guy at a time and I would get fully invested, and then I get ghosted or something would go sideways. And I remember my coworker asking me, "How long have you like?" I was just sad about this cop I've been talking to. We never kissed, we never did nothing, but I was so invested. I just knew I finally met a good one, and yay! And then I just stopped hearing from him. He's like, "Why are you so sad about this? Like, what is the?" It's
Yeah.
tiring when you date that way, and then that, and if you don't learn how to date, collect the data because that's what dating is. Make your decision and move on. You become bitter. I think some men that are on these podcasts mad as fuck about getting ghosted and getting robbed for 2 for $20 money at Chili's. They don't know how to date. This is part of the game. Rejection is part of the game.
Would you be okay with going to Chili's on a date?
Yes, baby, me and my ex stayed at Chili's.
Let's
We got the
go.
3 for 30, the 2 for 20.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
on.
above that. But guess what? I'm not finna go to a young lady that's like, Chili's ain't for me, and be like, bitch, is you crazy? Do you know? I'm not a pick me. Sis, if that's your standard, have at it. I'm here for it because there's a man out there that's got the pockets to take you to Charlotte Royal. I just made that up. I don't even.
but in the same breath, if that's your standard, you don't like this, don't try to clown the man that took you there because that was his standard. He thought it was cool. He just wanted to go get a bite to eat with you.
Completely agree. Stop trying to shove your shit in other people's line. He's too broke for me. Okay, let's just say that and move. Okay, move on. You ain't have to
I
put
could
that
have
on
had that
blast.
conversation before you got in the car.
We could have had you ask the right questions up front. We wouldn't even be here.
Had you asked the right questions.
You
Come
was
on.
too busy trying to get cute for a date without asking what kind of money do you know? Where exactly are we going? What did you have planned? What did you have in mind? What do you like to do? What do you normally do on dates? People
Man.
be so worried about running people off, and that's when the maturity comes in. If they ran off by them questions, they weren't for you. You looking for your person, not any person.
I can't wait to have you on Do That conversation.
So your men can roast me again? I
They ain't
think
gonna
not.
roast you. When I say they're gonna be respectful, but you are gonna get feedback. And it's not gonna be rude feedback.
Baby back ribs.
It's going to be feedback and excuse me, it's gonna be feedback and getting the understanding. So you're going to like the
Mm,
questions that you're asking, you're gonna get answers to, but it's going to be
mm,
three totally different perspectives on it. Because like I said,
mm.
we talk and we have these conversations, and
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that we don't all feel the same
agree
way
on.
about.
Yeah.
We all look at stuff differently. So you're going to get those three different personalities and those three different or four different
Hey,
perspectives
Chloe
on
girl.
situations.
Here's the thing as far as women joining into the conversation that men would like to have. It kind of reminds me of black people that are expected to educate white people on racism. It gets tiring. Like this is fine
Mhm.
because you're my brother. But sitting there trying to convince a room full of niggas that hey, women are worth treating halfway
But see, this is
decent,
the thing. See,
it's
you
draining.
you're coming in with the wrong mind. You ain't coming to convince us of anything. You're giving us your perspective and your thought process, and you're teaching us, or rather,
That's labor. It's giving labor. Free labor
no,
at
but
that.
we're learning. Just like how me and you just had this conversation today, and I
Yeah.
got your thought process and you got mine. It's pretty
Yeah.
much the same thing. Like I'm not asking you to come on so that we can convince you or to think like us, or for you to convince us to think like you. It's
Yeah.
just we have conversation. I promise you, we can have a conversation about salad.
Because debating is a headache.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm not the sheriff. If y'all feel like women ain't shit and they don't want to use you for nothing but money you ain't got, I am not here to convince you of otherwise.
we done had conversation or doing conversation about who got the best burgers. You know what I'm saying?
Griffs.
That's in the category of its own because everybody ain't got access to grifts. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know what that's.
We got two out here and I didn't know. I've been out here 4 years and just found out. But anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I'm down with it.
Look,
If I can,
we don't count the ones.
before you go, now that we've addressed, what would you say is a solution to this sort of problem? Because I'm a solutions girl. I'm here for feelings. I'm here for what you've experienced. What is the solution?
Understanding. It's
Elaborate.
okay. It's okay for all these different platforms and all everybody to have these conversations,
Hmm.
but you have to go in knowing that your thought process and your opinion is just that. It's your opinion. Go in with an open mind. Go
Yeah.
in willing to understand another person's point of view. You're not judging them. You're not telling them that they're wrong for the way they think and the way they feel. But
Yeah.
you're going in trying to get a better understanding of why they feel and think the way that they do. I feel like if a lot of us go in and we
Mm,
have that thought process of like how I asked you, like, why do you feel like that? Like, tell me why you feel like that. It's not for me to come and rebuttal with you and tell you that you're
yeah.
wrong. It's for me to get a better understanding. Okay, now I can understand. I understand why
Yeah.
she feel like that because she explained to me why she feels this way. And it's not again, it's not pointing the finger at you, telling you that you're wrong for
Yeah.
thinking the way that you do. Because if you go and watch a lot of these hot takes, it's somebody on the stage telling them like, "This is how it should be."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or whoever's the loudest is like
It
the
is the one
you
who's
know.
right. No, it's
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit back. I'm going to listen to you. That's key. Listening. I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to hear how you feel about the situation. And then I'm going, in turn, going to talk to you and explain to you how I feel about the situation. And we're going to move
Uh,
on to the next conversation. It's just
It
about listening and
depends,
understanding.
child. It depends, cause like some points of view are garbage. Some are wrong,
But
and
see,
I think those do need to be called out, especially if they can
but
be
we're
backed
old
up with
enough,
facts,
but we're
etc.
old enough that we can filter through the bullshit.
Are we?
Because a lot of people will say shit just so they can get applause and get likes and get views. You know, what I'm saying? And I
That's
understand
what the hot takes are, and I believe that's what the hot
that's
takes
the
are.
name of the game is
Yeah.
to get views. I'm finna say some shit, and you got a lot of people that don't even believe the shit that they say.
And don't live it either. So that's why on my platform, we're gonna dig through the bullshit. Have you experienced that in real life?
Yeah,
Are women really
and
not
see,
fucking with
that's
you
why I
because of how much
switched
money
it
you
up
make?
from the hunting
Yeah.
and shit to okay, being overseas and even doing this, and this. So I get it, but actually sitting down and listening and understanding where somebody else's thought process and
Yeah.
being old enough and mature enough to understand that everybody does not think and feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
yeah, so
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 that to me
that's
is
a
the
nice
key.
solution. You feel like communication would be the
Yes.
solution. I
True,
personally feel
true
like,
communication.
especially for the men folk that still want to lead, that still want because there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm an
Mhm.
old school girl. If a man can come in and lead properly, by all means lead away. But you have to be willing to lead in everything, not just pick and choose. I personally feel like men should get amongst themselves and change the narrative there first and then come see us.
Mhm.
Is that fair?
Yeah, but you gotta understand the group of men
Yeah,
that you surround yourself with. Because
completely
everybody's
agree.
individual, everybody has their own thought process. But if you have a group of men, which my bros, you've met a lot of them, my bros that I do their conversations with, not only do we have these conversations, but we motivate each other and we push each other to be a better version of ourselves.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Now we might laugh at some bullshit that's happening, but when it's something that's serious,
yeah,
we listen, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
we give our advice. If Jet go through something or Jay Lee go through something or if D go through something and it's something serious, we sit there and we listen.
yeah,
And we sit there and we have those real heartfelt conversation. Just because we are men don't mean we can't have heartfelt conversations.
I was just about to say, I wish that for every man.
Like
I wish a brotherhood for every man. And I think the community would be better for it.
oh yes, like my bros, like Josh Ness,
Yeah,
Trail. We have these sit down hard bro talks is what we call them. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
if one of them come up and be like, hey bro, I need to have a bro talk with you. I already know what kind of conversation that is. I already
yeah,
know it's serious. I already know like some opening up is about to happen and something really personal is about to be said.
yeah.
And I need to truly listen. So surrounding yourself with people like that, and I'm not just gonna say men because females too.
Women.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's the military, man. Like I said, male bears, female bears. Surrounding yourself with women like that is
Completely agree.
who
Completely agree.
who is listening when they know, like, hey, we need to have a sis talk,
We need to have a heart to heart, sis.
and
That was our line.
and you have those conversations. You don't have to be hard all the time. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open up
Agree.
and get help from those people who truly care about you. It's okay.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong about that. What they say, oh, that's gay. It ain't nothing gay about
I
that.
was just you took that right off my little thingy thing. So one of my little pointers was stop saying that being decent to women is simp behavior or gay. Let's start there. Like, okay, you want women to be a part of this conversation. And I'm just telling you, when I came into your platform, it
hmm
gave bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. It, like, literally, there was a man that kept saying bitches. And if you want women to feel welcome and come and educate you, that's why I was like, you know what, I'll dial out because it's not my type of talk. Because I wouldn't sit here and say dog ass niggas this, dog ass niggas that. You're speaking from a place of hurt. You don't even respect women. You might not even like them. So why would I sit here and try to educate on how you could be a better man for a woman? It sounds like you might be in a stage of life where you don't even need to be dating. See, that's the type of realness I come with, and then his feelings would have been really hurt. The fact that you still
But it would
generalize
have
women,
once
you
it would
probably
have
shouldn't be
been
dating at all.
once it would have been like vocalized. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't want you to go. And that's why I really want you to come on the platform.
Oh, so I
But
can be fair to the wolves, child.
you are not gonna be. You are not going to be fed to the wolves if you come on the platform.
But here's the thing. But before you say that, here's the thing. If as soon as he started calling bitches, or started calling women bitches, if all of his bros would have clocked him then and let him know that's not cool then and meant it, that would have been his last time talking like that around y'all. But he feels comfortable talking that way
It's the truth,
because
and I'm gonna tell you why.
nobody is saying it's wrong.
But I'm gonna tell you why. In Duty Conversations, not just Duty Conversations, just us playing Call of Duty. We say that
Yeah.
word a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's not. We're intending it to be.
That's the way some talk. And that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't deal with men that talk that way.
but
So
not that's not us coming at you calling you a bitch. That's why I say if you come on a
just the
platform,
gender.
if you're not coming, if you say yeah I don't like that word, I promise you nobody on that platform will say it. I promise you that.
But it's like, why? What? Okay, so back to my original point.
But
Why
that's
should
why I
a
say I wish
woman
you would
have
have
to
came
be?
in.
But that's what I'm saying. Why should a woman have to come and be like, that's kind of disrespectful. I don't like that. Why haven't the men checked him already? That's what I'm saying. That's where the leadership comes in. You want women to
And
come
this
in
and I totally
and
get that. That's
lead.
why I say I wish you were there from the beginning. But there's just like
Yeah.
a man coming into a woman a woman's conversation. And you know what I'm saying? If I went there from the beginning and I come into y'all conversation is, oh niggas ain't shit, niggas this, niggas this, niggas this, niggas
And
this.
if a man were to be like, but honestly,
Exactly. But that's why I say I
yeah,
wish you was
okay.
there.
I feel what you're
Yeah.
saying. Because if a man would have said, you know what, if you don't mind, I don't really like when men are talking, we would stop. You're right. So, but
hmm
also, why haven't her friend girls checked her or checked to, when are we going to deal with that, sis? When is the healing going to come? Because not you blanketing an entire sex, they all are. There's some healing that needs to take place. And if this is
Bro,
genuinely how you
no, he my
feel, oh, it is.
that's Josh.
Hello, we're recording. And if this is genuinely how you feel, you don't need to be dating. If you look, and this is to either gender, if you're at a place where you feel like all women ain't shit and all niggas ain't shit, you don't need to be dating because you're trying to date what ain't shit. You need to heal.
But it is some women out there. Not all women.
That's some ancient women. We
Yeah,
say that here on this
I ain't gonna
platform. We
say
keep it
ancient.
real.
It's some ancient ass dude. It's some ancient ass women, but it is some true bitches out there.
That people in general are shit. So
Yeah.
the human race is crap. Like point blank. So there's that.
It's in my room. Um, but yeah,
But
but
I see what you.
you,
But that would be my
I promise you, every male on my platform will be very respectful.
yeah,
But
like they
you
was the
came, like
last
I said,
time
when
I
you
was
came in,
little.
you came into a heated situation because we were talking about the hot takes and just social media. You know how many
But
female
why? I guess like you said, you're trying to understand why. I guess I was trying to understand why the anger behind this hot take because you don't have to date women that think like that. Why are you so upset? And I think it was that's why I said I'm gonna just check out because it was sounding more like hurt and triggered. Are
yeah,
you upset
it's that
because you make less than 50K and you feel like she talking to you and she talking about you? You don't even know
because
this
I
woman.
initiated that conversation. I was just like,
Yeah,
this is the umpteenth thousand video I've seen like that. Why? No, I said, what are you bringing? There's nothing wrong with you wanting a man to bring
a certain
50,000
amount.
out to
Yeah,
the table, but what are you bringing to the table in return? Like, I honestly like, why you feel like this, and what are you bringing to the table? If you would have told me he can bring 50,000 to the table and I do X, Y, and Z, not to say that you got to explain it to me, but I'm trying to get an understanding of
yeah,
why this man. You feel like men. I ain't gonna say that man. You feel like men because that's how the conversation was perceived.
yeah.
Men have to come with this, and this. Okay, if all men have to come with this, and this, what are you bringing? It's just
Okay,
been
I feel you.
my opinion
Me
about it.
personally, I don't desire to know the thinkings of the people that take hot takes like the Kevin Samuelites. I don't care to know why you think that way. I already know why you think that way.
That was a. I say this
I already know why you think that way. So
for
get
me
an
that was
understanding for
a
what.
that Kevin Samuel shit was damn near a cult type shit to me.
I think that he kind of started the wave. Rest in peace of this very hot, the very thing we're talking about, this hot take culture.
This
I do
male
believe
versus
he started
female. This like
that.
when is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
another topic for another day, but I definitely feel like that was the start of it. It's like people that wanted folk that wanted to do the bare minimum had their champion.
hold on, Joe. Hold on, real quick. Oh,
Sir, we are live.
I had to find my car keys real quick.
But yeah,
Found
so
them.
I kind of feel like that was the start of that, and it just kind of went from there with the, But it's been a good. I had you almost 2 hours, so I mean, it's the
That's how
type
you
of
know the
topic that you
conversation
could,
is
yeah.
good.
It's the type of conversation that could be talked on for hours because it's years of history. It's so much more than 50K. Where did this come from? Why is this thinking in place? What are we going to do about it? And that would be my solution. Is I feel like the men should get amongst themselves and change the narrative,
Yeah, I just feel like us as a
and then come
people,
to us, the
yes, us
women.
men and us,
Yeah.
we all need to sit down and have a conversation, just like me and you sat down and had a conversation.
Mm-mm. Because like I said, I did this because I love you and I care about you and I like your point of view but but is that emotional labor? Is that fair to ask someone who did not build a structure to come and explain why it needs to be torn down? That's not fair. If y'all
Mhm.
built it, discuss amongst each other. What can we do to dismantle this and get to a place where we can be the men we want to be, and women can feel they can trust. They can trust us that what was isn't anymore. There's no trust. Y'all want us to
Oh,
love y'all for who y'all are after centuries of seeing us as nothing but baby makers. What?
I can't put that on all men because not all men in history just looked at women as baby makers. You had some men who truly cared about women and their well being. So
Yeah, and
I
I
can't
agree.
sit and just put that on all men.
But okay, even not
But
even okay, if you want to do that and do the not all men thing,
no, like
even from governmental structures, the Roe versus Wade was just turned over last year. So this ain't even old stuff we talking about. From the
oh yeah,
government
I know.
on down to social statuses,
Yeah.
women have not been viewed as people with feelings and personalities. And now you as men want to be viewed that way by us. Lead. That's what I'm saying. Lead in that.
And I hear everything that you're saying, and I'm not denying nothing that you're saying.
Yeah.
But I do feel like yes, us men can still get together and we can have a conversation. But until we all come together and we all start tearing down these, because bunch of men can get together and we can have a conversation and we can
Hmm.
figure out what we want to do. But at the end of the day, we don't know how women feel unless we sit down with a woman and ask a woman how she truly feels.
Okay, and I
Because
receive that. Yeah.
if we don't sit down with a woman and ask her this, and this, we finna open another door of men making decisions for women when we didn't even have the chance to sit down. We didn't even take the time to sit down with a woman and see how she felt. So we as a people, men and women,
Yeah.
need to sit down together and understand each other and figure out, okay, like you said, let's start tearing down these old narratives
That aren't helping us or
that aren't
making us
helping,
better in any form.
and let's do what we need to do to come together to make things better, because right, like you said, it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
Something goes away for a little while and come right back. It's just like clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's going to come back. But until we all
Yeah.
sit down together and come up and listen to each other, that's the only way we're gonna be able to move forward. It's gonna
I
take
feel
both
you on
sides.
that because even the modern women or the pink pill, what was pink pill? That was birth of red pill. Like men are leading whether they're choosing to or not. If y'all don't
Hmm.
like the way that the city girls, what is that? That ain't Uncle Luke been talking about bitches ain't shit, and the NWA talking about bitches ain't shit, and so women finally grabbed the mic and said, "Well, niggas ain't shit. Pay me."
Hmm.
Now you're getting back the treatment you've been giving for centuries, and you have a problem with it. But who put the treatment there in the first place? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna
It was
lead
it was the man
in
holding us
all
down.
things. I
But no.
mean, patriarchy does stem from white supremacy. Yes, it does. And why we picked it up and ran with it, I don't know, because that's white shit anyway. But we live in America, so you adjust. And I'm here for it. I get what you're saying. How can we know what to change if somebody isn't having a conversation with women to see what exactly they need from us? And when you get the intel or the information, which I think some of this y'all already know, is it? Have I really said anything that you just never heard before?
No, and that's why I say it takes both.
Right.
That's why I
So
say it takes both parties. We all gonna have to come sit down at the table, and we're gonna, even if
yeah,
that table ain't nothing but a group of us, it's starting.
it's a
That
start.
seed is being planted. It ain't gotta be, oh,
We'll see.
I need 1,000 people to come for this movement to go. No. Even like by me and you sitting down having this conversation, those who watched, we've planted a seed to,
Okay.
hey, let's sit down and let's have this conversation.
Because
Like,
I think men fail to realize how truly powerful and important they are, especially black men.
mhm,
When I say part of the reason you're being viewed as a wallet is because you have minimized yourself to that.
mhm.
Y'all don't know
And
y'all worth and value, and so
and I can
it's a
say the
trickle
same
down
thing
effect.
about women. Like when
I
women look
completely
at,
agree.
they be like, "Oh, you only see me for my body," but look how women are being portrayed. So
But who's
until
doing the portraying? Who runs the media, love?
shit, the lady that owns BET, the woman that owns BET,
Oh
now,
my
but
goodness.
it's just people. We as people, women, men,
Because I feel like if we
whatever
sit
you go
down and
about,
have
we
a
just have to you have
collective,
to be willing to listen.
I agree. And I feel like if we sit down and have a collective, it's gonna be so many. It's gonna unless okay, we can do the collective thing if the men folk are willing to come in truly vulnerable and not easily triggered. Because let's be real.
But
Let's be real.
in reality, triggers are going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know
So
what that
yeah,
person, you don't know what the trauma or whatever that person went through. So those triggers are going to be there. Willing to come in, understanding that somebody may be triggered,
because
listening
it
to
becomes
them
a
vent.
yelling match and an argument,
But
and
that's what
we
I'm
are
saying.
tired, and women are tired. We're tired.
Listen, because it's gonna be vice versa too, because women have been through stuff too. So something might trigger them when they go off. You know what I'm saying? Black women are already portrayed as being loud and angry. So when you have these conversations, you have to come in with thick skin. You have to come in with understanding, because certain buttons are going to be pressed.
Yeah,
Certain people are going to feel a certain type of way because they've been through their own trauma with that situation.
yeah,
So yes, I see you getting passionate. I see you getting loud. I'm gonna let you vent that out. And
yeah.
then once you calm down, we can talk and we can go deeper into their situation. Okay, now I know why you feel like this. So where do we need to do for this not to happen to somebody else? And that's male or female.
Yeah.
Because trauma is trauma. Trauma ain't got no
Trauma.
gender
Yeah.
bias.
Trauma
It
is
ain't got
trauma.
nothing. So those triggers are going to, you're not going to be able to have a solution based conversation
Yeah.
without getting dirty and coming in and somebody's going to be angry. You're going to have to sit and filter through all that trauma. That's the
Agree.
only way that's going to happen. That's the
So,
only way.
but yeah, I think it's a great idea. We'll agree to disagree. I do feel like men as the leaders, whether
Mhm.
y'all choose to be or not, because that system is in place, you are technically the leaders. There is no
Mhm.
system that women hold, government or otherwise, that is ran by women that affects men. So
I
y'all
put
would have
I
to,
put no, I ain't gonna say that because there's gonna people gonna be flagging me and cussing me out. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna even make that joke.
but be that as it may, the narrative has, because there's no trust between men and women, and understandably so, because when we look to you before as pillars, we've been left, we've been let down, we've been abused,
I
raped,
wonder
left out to, it's
I
been
wonder do
hell.
women know how
So
powerful they are?
they don't.
I
and
wonder
that's and
and
that's
I
and
and I
that's
also
real.
and I think that's why I have so much respect for my kids' mom. I have so
Yeah,
much respect for my mom because I've seen my kids being born.
it's real.
I I I, s- I visually saw my daughter being born. I can't go through that.
Man, a nigga would die if a little bit of blood came out the tip of
Let
his
me tell you
penis.
something.
And you would think that that's something that deserves respect.
I'm finna say
And
something so personal, and just like you said, a dude would die if a lick of blood. I shaved. I shaved. I know we getting personal and we getting out. So I shaved and I nicked myself. And that mother when I stopped bleeding, I was
oh
like, "Oh
my
my god, I'm gonna have
gosh.
to go to the emergency room. This why is it still bleeding? I'm applying pressure. What is going on? Like,
Did you put any gauze on it?
but man, it was a
Oh my
nerve.
goodness.
But seeing women give birth, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we put the seed of life into a female,
Yes.
but seeing my daughter being born made me understand how strong a woman is.
Yes.
Yes, we give the seed, but y'all grow it and y'all it blossoms from you and it takes strength because y'all bodies go through hell during pregnancy. So
Fact.
just having that, knowing that and seeing that and witnessing that and just lets me know like, yeah, men are powerful, but women are powerful in their own way too.
Yeah.
And I can't make every man understand or see things the way that I see things.
But like you said, it's a start, a
It's a
conversation.
start. So I ain't asking y'all to be like me. I ain't asking y'all to think like me. All I'm asking is be willing to sit down and hold these hard
These conversations.
conversations.
Yeah. Because how did racism end? What did it look like? There were white people that knew it was wrong, but they didn't want to say
Mhm.
nothing because here's the norm.
Yeah.
And when you speak up, you're called a name. Like men that speak up for women now, they're called simps.
Let me
As
tell you
soon as you
something.
simp,
I learned
you
this a
simp,
long time
you
ago. A
simp.
person gonna call you out your name whether you
Yeah,
want to or not. Somebody's gonna talk down upon you your entire life.
this is
It's
true.
what you accept, and if you listen to them, be like, "Oh yeah, they right," then you giving that power. A
Or if
motherfucker.
you back down, a lot of it is decent men try to be like, yo, dude, that's the woman. What you doing, man? Quit acting like a motherfucking punk. Quit acting like a simp. And so now your manhood has been questioned, and you cower down. And when you have a group collectively cowering down when you need them to stand up for you,
Let me
the
tell you
trust
something.
is broken,
I
honey.
don't shit like that never bothered me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
that's true, and I've known you for a minute. You've always been.
you can say what you want about me. I'm me. Because at the end of the day, them same women that you trying to get, that you saying I'm a simp or I'm this and that about them, you still are trying to get them, but they over here with me. So who winning and who losing?
Louder for
You
the
know,
people in the back.
you know what I'm saying? Like who winning and who losing? So now you trying to use my, you know what I'm saying? You trying to turn me and who I am into a technique so you can get that girl
Hmm.
when I'm over here just being me. So I try to raise my son like that, and I told him this like a couple months ago. People gonna talk about you. Like I said, people gonna talk about you every day of your life.
Yeah.
You believe 'em? Or is what they saying true?
Hmm.
No? Okay, fuck them.
Straight up.
You keep doing you and you keep staying true to you. That's all that matter.
I agree.
That's all
So,
that matter.
and like you said, we're still having to have the conversation amongst us while still teaching our kid. It's exhausting because
Mhm.
I heard JJ coming here one day talking that red pill talk. I'm like, hold the front door. What is that? When you raised by a whole single mama, when the only person that tends to have your back is a woman, no, you did not come up in my house regurgitating that podcast junk you heard at school. Run it back. I'm gonna check you. And it's unfortunate your homeboys didn't because they probably sitting there kikiing. But what if his homeboys would have checked him? Jimmy, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are
And
you talking about women like that? That's
that's
what
what
I'm saying by
that's
start the conversation amongst the fellas and then
that's where
come
the
to
you
us.
gotta know the people that you around. One thing I can say about my bros, and that's the ones I'm on the game with, that's the one that's around me. Nobody has ever came and tried to change me from being who I truly am.
Hmm.
And I respect them so much for that because I'm not gonna change them for who they truly are.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm wrong about something, it's going to be I'm gonna be corrected and vice versa.
Yeah.
So when we get deep in these conversations, like I said, I hate that you came in to that duty and
And heard
conversation
y'all showing y'all ass. Yeah.
when because at first when I say it was we was talking serious and then it turned into jokes, and I think that's when you came in because before the bitches and stuff came out, it was a real conversation. And then that's when the jokes and stuff started to come in to lighten up the mood so it wouldn't feel so heavy.
Yeah.
And that's why we was laughing at a lot of the jokes and punchlines that was being made. But like I said, if you come on to the show, I don't want you to feel like you're gonna be disrespected because for one, you my sister, and I'm not gonna let you be disrespected. But I do my due diligence to surround myself around people who are truly respectful, not only to women but to everybody else. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, the crowd would say otherwise. I'm just saying.
if
I
we
can.
playing Call of Duty and you on the other team, oh yeah, ain't you finna get it. You know what I'm saying? You finna get the blunt of everything. But they just come with playing the game. But I do look forward to you being on my show. I know you want to end it because we're going on a 2 hour
We
mark. You know what
are,
I'm saying?
honey, and I gotta
I
go
just
talk
want to
to
say
these
I
children.
appreciate I'm finna take over real quick. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Thick Writer Chick podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Triple SK Booker Triple X, and I'm here with my little sis Courtney Lyric, and I want to thank her for allowing me to come onto her platform
Of
so we can
course.
have this conversation.
Are you gonna come back? Can we expect you again?
Oh, this ain't the last time your viewers seen of me. Next time I'm coming with a haircut, then they gonna be like, oh shit, you
Is
know.
that
I'm
triple
coming
X
with that.
boogie? What? That ain't the
But
same nigga.
but if you want to tune into one, I'm gonna plug myself real quick before we get out of here.
By all means, do.
If you want to come, I do duty and conversation on Thursdays. These last couple Thursdays, I've been working my ass off and stepping up. Like I ain't gonna say stepping up my daddy game, but my
Hmm.
kid's mom was out of town, so dad to do this was priority. So I've been out of pocket. But this Thursday, duty and conversations, we'll be back. Joe brought up a topic. We're gonna talk about dating, and we're gonna get everybody perspective on dating nowadays. Um, Upcoming, I'm gonna have a married couple on there, and we're gonna talk about marriage. I also want to talk about divorce.
Mm.
We have these type of conversations on Duty and Conversations. If I'll put the link somewhere on here, but if you got a pen or if you just got a good memory, it's twitch.tv/ triple X K Booker triple X. That's the way it's spelled on the screen. And just pull up. Right now, like I said earlier, I'm doing this 30-hour gaming stream, and I'm logging in these hours to bring awareness to suicide for soldiers.
Hmm.
So be sure to tune in. A lot of times I'm just playing the game. I'm playing like 3 different games right now. So who knows what you're gonna see me playing. But Thursdays is duty and conversations. And once everybody get on, man, we have those conversations. And I encourage you to jump in the chat, give us your opinion, jump in the conversation with us. Because everybody has no opinion. I ain't gonna say everybody opinion matters because some people be coming
Some
with
people's
bullshit.
opinion is dookie.
Yeah, some
I'll
people.
say it for you.
But everybody has a voice, and if you have a true opinion on the subject and you want to voice it with us, by all means, come in and say your piece.
Say your piece. Yeah.
And I just want to thank you again for allowing me to come, or for inviting me to come on your podcast. And again, this ain't gonna be the last time y'all see me because my name is Kevin. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I'm 37. About to
With no
retire.
haircuts.
No haircut. It's rough out here. I am living my best life.
And the
Uh,
Charlene beard. Anthony Hamilton.
Marcus, man, you see, I got the Anthony Hamilton over here, but
Found
over
out the
here,
letter that she wrote.
but it's crazy because like I got a shaving profile in the military because of hair bumps, and I done had some huge ones.
Oh my
To where
gosh.
Josh had to come in and help me like get the ingrown hairs out. Like this was like the worst it's ever been. Uh Marcus talking about take calls next time.
But what does it look like? Man, I got the $20 plan. Y'all doing too much.
But no, thank you again, Joe. I know I'm taking up your time. I'm just trying to hurry up and get us to that 2
Yeah,
hour mark.
it actually gonna cut us off in 6 seconds. So thank you.
Oh,
Thank y'all for joining the Thick Rider Chick. Tune in. I'm on Anchor. I'm on Apple. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. Baby, we everywhere. Peace.
out.